Welcome to part 6 of this video series. This is actually the last video, and in this part I am fitting the DesignTek manifolds and silencers. I also come across an issue because one of the studs was threaded. So I had to replace the thread in the cylinder head. So I talk you through the kit that I used to do that. Okay, so I'm at the point now I'm about to put on the DesignTek manifolds. I just thought I'd show them to you. So these are really impressive in terms of the quality. And they come with the gaskets, obviously. This is the driver's side one, which I'm just about to put on. But yeah, really pleased with the quality, and obviously got the matching silencers. They're the mild sports silencers to go with this. So fingers crossed that this all fits fine. Right, so I'm now on the driver's side, and I fitted the new DesignTek manifold. So I used a combination of flat and spring washers, because that was what was advised, and brass nuts. And I'm hoping that, I mean, not in the lifetime that I'm going to own the car, that we won't experience any rust issues like on the original. So I just wanted to talk you through an issue that I did come across. The two ends, the gap between the this casting for the outlet, this casting here, and the hole for the stud is very, very thin, and you can't get a normal washer in there. And the other issue is that the nuts catch on this moulding when you're doing them up, if you try to do it without a washer. So a solution I came up with was two spring washers that are thin enough to fit in this gap, and that worked fine. And you got the same problem at this end as well. So this one's got two spring washers on it as well, because the gap is possibly a bit narrower between the moulding and the hole for the stud. So yeah, you just want to be careful that you don't go for sort of oversized nuts, because they're just not going to fit, or bolts that are probably bigger than these brass nuts, which are quite tall and narrow. Anyway, so that's the issue I faced and overcome it. This is now torqued down, and so I've done the other side as well. Okay, thanks a lot. Okay, so not exactly on the bench, but this is where I can show you the issues. So the way that the DesignTek manifolds are designed is you've got very small gap between here and this lip on the outlet manifold, and the same on this end. So if I just plonk one of my studs in there, oops, and you'll see that when this nut goes on and when you tighten it, it knocks, oh sorry, when you put this nut on the stud and tighten it right down, it knocks against this element here, and the same on this end here. and so what I had to do was to fit washers on this particular one, and on the other end as well, to so that raised the nut up enough to miss this grinding against here. So yeah, you know, if you had even bigger nuts, or were using bolts with a slightly larger head, you'd stand no chance. So just something to bear in mind if you're going the route of DesignTek, which, you know, I'm really pleased with the quality, and I've got around this issue, but yeah, just something to bear in mind. Okay, cheers. So just another update video on the Porsche. So I've now got the catalytic converters back on, and I've also got the driver's side silencer on. So just bear with me a minute while I get up. So let's just get that light out of the way as well. So yeah, so the driver's side is now fitted. I won't say it was easy. It was pretty challenging. Basically, you've got to leave all of the brackets loose, so don't bolt anything up. So these brackets here that the silencer bolts onto, with these long nuts here, don't do those up at the back. You've got to leave them loose, and obviously it's connected through to this catalytic converter here. I have got some new tips to go on, which I'll show you in a bit later on once I've done that. Put those on, but that's on. They're a lot smaller than the standard ones, as you'd expect, I guess. So, but I have a problem, Houston, as they say. So on the passenger side, I'd fitted the new manifold, DesignTek manifold, but I hadn't torqued it down, and when I went to torque it down, one of the threads stripped. So I'll show you the thread when I come to do the actual job. So I've now got to take this side manifold off again. I'm just hoping I haven't got to take the thermostat out again, because that's a new thermostat with a gasket that I fitted. So now I've obviously got a thread to repair. So after a ton of research, and also looking at the cost aspect, I've gone for this easy lock kit. So there are various options. There's a Worth kit, but that's like £300. So this was £56 off of Amazon. So the principle is that you drill out the thread, the existing thread, to a bigger size using this drill here, and then you chase it create the thread, I should say, in using this tool, this chaser here, and then you fit a one of these studs, and this is the tool you use for doing up the stud to get it in. So yeah, this is a bit nerve-wracking. I've never really done anything like this, and obviously if I mess it up, I've got a new cylinder head to get. So yeah, just why did it strip is probably what you're asking me. So all the rest of the threads are fine. This particular thread, I started it off when I was chasing after I drilled it out using the Stomsky kit and chasing it out. I'd sort of chased it at a slight angle. So I redid it again with a proper angle, well, proper right angle, and straight, I should say, and that was obviously too much for the existing thread, and when I came to torque everything down, it's just stripped. So and the nut and thread are just turning round and round. So what's the lesson learnt there is to make sure that because that was one of the I didn't use the Stomsky kit to chase it out. So that's the lesson learnt there, because that would have meant that it would have been straight and I wouldn't have had to redo it. So anyway, right, so I'll come back on once I've got because I'm going to use the Stomsky kit as a guide for this drill, and obviously the chasing, just so it ensures that it goes straight. Obviously I'm not drilling in very far, these studs aren't particularly long. So yeah, I'll come back on once I've got everything set up and I'm kind of ready to go. All right, cheers. Right, so I've just completed fitting the Easy Lock thread into the head. So how would I describe that job? I'd describe it as pretty difficult, but I think that was more driven because it was my first time doing anything like this, and also kind of nerves. I was so paranoid about getting some, ruining the head basically. So I ended up, I tried initially to drill the whole sort of freehand, if you like, but I was just terrified that I was going to go off centre and muck up the complete innards of the cylinder head. So I actually ended up using the Stomsky template as a guide for the drill that you use to drill out the oversized drill that drills out the thread to the size that's needed. And also you then use the Stomsky template to guide the chaser as well. And so that all sort of went okay, really. I'm now waiting, so it recommends 72 hours to, there's basically a glue that's on the casing of the thread as you put it in that you can feel actually initializing and gluing as you put the thread in, but they recommend you wait 72 hours before you put it under any stress. So I'm just going to carry on with some other jobs until that time's up, and then obviously I can put the new DesignTek manifold back on and obviously the silencers, and we'll then be back on track. So yeah, I wouldn't like to do that job without some sort of template as a guide for the drilling and the chaser. It's just too problematic. Anyway, cheers guys, bye bye. Okay, so I've now got the passenger side silencer on. So I just wanted to talk you through the technique for doing that, because it was a lot easier to put on having done the driver's side, which I struggled with a bit. So if I just go underneath. Okay, so the key to it is to loosen. You got this bracket here that fixes onto this brace here, and the thing I found is if you loosen these bolts, there's 3 bolts in there. There's C2. There's the third one. If you loosen those off, this gives you, and then that gives you some flexibility when you're trying to get these black brackets in place that are on each side of the silencer. So that's what I found, and also this is where it joins up with the catalytic converter. And what I found is if you push this bracket on the driver's side, I had this bracket sort of in position as it is now, but on this side I pushed it right back, and that allowed me more room to get this in position. And then once it was in position, I pulled it forward. So yeah, so it was pretty straightforward. The only other thing to remember is that when you're doing these bolts, there's a long bolt that's the bottom of it, and there's a bolt, there's a nut at the top. Is obviously goes without saying, you're putting the bolt head at the bottom and then the nut at the top, because otherwise they're just impossible to get out. Because when I came to take the original off, the bolt top was here, so and I couldn't get it out because the bodywork of the car's in the way. So sorry, I couldn't get it out here because this piece of bodywork was stopping it. But if you do the bolt head at the bottom, you just undo the nut at the top if you ever need to take it off, and that bolt will drop out. Right, so I'm nearly there. I'm just waiting for the easy lock. So hang on, there's the thread. Oh, there's the thread there. I'm just waiting for that to go. It says 72 hours, and then obviously I'm going to put in a stud and then a nut, and then I'll torque it down. So I'm hoping that all goes according to plan, and then it's a case of filling the car up, back up with coolant, and then starting it and just making sure I've got no leaks on the exhaust, or any of the gaskets and so on, and away we go. So yeah, it's getting pretty exciting. I can't wait to hear what it sounds like, because this has been such a long job. Okay, cheers then. Right, so I've actually completed the job. So this is on the passenger side, just looking in with the bumper on, and obviously the heat shields in there as well. I've started it up and let it cool down again. I've still got some air locks in the system, I think, so I'm gonna have to take it out for a long run to clear those and leave the burp valve off, and this is on the driver's side. So yeah, it's and obviously I fitted, you can see those, I fitted new tips, which I think look a lot better than the sort of single ones that I had before. So really pleased with those. And my other tips, they were just sort of oval. They stuck out a long way, sort of about to here, I'd say, which I always thought looked pretty odd. That's the other side. So really pleased with that. So I've just got to put the wheels on, get it off the jack stands. All the bloody brakes have seized up, so I've got to sort that out. And then take it for a run and hope that everything is okay. As I say, I've had it running. It seems that it's all seems watertight. You can see the car now. It's filthy dirty from all the dust of me working. So yeah, so once it's I've done a test run, obviously I'll clean it up, and we're ready to go, and I can start driving it again.